Hi there. Thanks for watching this video. This is Kirtan here. Today we are going to look into how to create form extension for standard forms provided by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So for various projects, either it can be full implementation, either it can be a support project, or it can be a ISV development project where you may come across a requirement where you need to tweak the standard forms. The requirement can vary, like you might want to add new fields to a standard form, add a new data source to a standard form. You might want to rearrange the GUI, or you might want to enable or disable certain fields based on your logic, or you want to enable disable certain controls on the form based on our custom logic. For all these scenarios, we actually use form customization with the use of extension. So to achieve this, we will be going through how to create form extension, how to add new fields, how to add new data source. So let's get right into it. Hi. So to start with our exercise, go to User Studio and create a project with your appropriate user or layer and model in which you are going to do your customization. So for me, currently I have selected user layer and my model is development demo, and my project is demo development. So now to start our form extension, on the left hand side we have AOT, and under the AOT we have node which is called user interface. If you click on it and expand it, you will see forms and form extension. So basically we are looking for a forms object. So once you expand the forms object, you will see plenty of forms out of the box available. So based on your requirement, you need to select the form and create an extension. So creating an extension is fairly easy, but you have to make sure that you are in a project where a layer as well as model is specified, so that whatever the customization you are doing goes and it is stored into a particular model. Okay, you need to make sure that. So for example, I am going to do asset table. So I have this asset table form and I want to do some tweaking on this form GUI. So I can go to this particular form, right click and click on create extension. So now when I click on create extension, an extension object of the form is created and added to the current project. If you don't have a current project, you can actually click on create extension in new project. So there you will be redirected to a new project, and a new extension would be created and added in your solution. So right now I already have my solution. I'm going to click on create extension. So as you can see on the right hand side, the extension is created with the with the suffix of development demo. Development demo is my model name. I'll open it. There are certain things which you can modify also. You cannot modify everything. For example, if it is using one particular data source, you cannot delete the data source. So I can expand this and I can also add reference data source. Click on this and click on new reference data source, and you can have a reference data source. So reference data source is something where you are joining a table where you are saying that wherever the related data is found, fetch only those records. So if you have that kind of requirement where you need to show only the data where master and child both has the data, and those records should only populate, so in that scenario you better look for this option. Okay, so now we have added a new data source. Now, for example, if you have added new fields over here, so if a new field is added or a asset table through table extension, you will see all the newly added fields over here, and you can just drag and drop it to your GUI or form design. So I have done this. So now I want to actually, on this tab, what I can do is, so these are all the properties which are associated with tab details, and you can see certain properties are grayed out, certain properties are not grayed out. So the grayed out ones you cannot change, but whichever is not grayed out you can always change it. So for me, if I go to details and click on tab header, and I have general, I am clicking on general. So you can see that there are certain properties, like I can change the caption, which is a part of our design change. I can change the permission type. So I want to hide this tab based on a user role, so or a permission type. So here I can specify whether a user should have read permission on the asset table, then and only then this tab should be shown. So that permission can be there. Then if I want to change the style of my tab. So currently it has groups and all, so it can not be details from grid or details from details. So by default it is an auto. But if I have a requirement where I want to show grid, so you can directly select this details from grid and it will change. This is not this is not at all recommended for the standard uh, forms where they have already designed the patterns. So form, all the forms has patterns, so it is already applied on the forms. So now I want to actually change the label of this, so I can change it. Or what I can do is I can add, I can actually add a new tab and replicate everything which is available on this tab and reposition it. Apart from this, from the form GUI, you can directly select this, and so once you select on this, over here it is automatically highlighted. So if I select this, this is highlighted. If I select this, then subsequently over here also it is highlighted. So you will see where the controls are positioned. So for this let's say for this field I want to change the caption, because I forgot to put it on my, so because I forgot to put it on my field label or the label which is associated with the field is not relevant to our scenario. So we want to change the field. So in that case, we can specify custom caption over here. So in the label, you can say physical asset number, and I would say actual asset number. So once you save it and tab, you can see that the label is changed over here. Also, I have this another field which is major type. I don't want major type to be shown on the form. So in that case, I can just go to visible and click on no. So next time when somebody opens it, the visibility of this control is not there. So you can see it is hidden now. So all these tweaks you can do with the form extension. Apart from that, you can see we have action pane. So in the action pane, you will see we have multiple menus attached to it. So in this fixer set, if I want to add a new button group, so I decided that all the options available for a user to click on a button, I want to add some new functionality which is based on a click. So I can always add a new button over here or a button group. So if at a option level, you first need to create a button group, and under that you can create your new button or add a new menu item. So you might have created a SSRS report where it is generated based on the current record, and you have added a menu item for that, and you want to show it on your form. So first you need to go to your action pane or whichever GUI you want to add, and you can just right click and add a new button. So that's another way of adding a new button on a form. You cannot directly go to a form and do this, so you need to have extension for that scenarios as well. So this is on the UI front. So now I want to add a new method or I want to modify certain events. So the best way to do this is through an extension class of the form. So you cannot actually directly write a method or add a method on the form itself now. You need to write an extension class, and there you will write your own custom logic. If it is a customized form, then definitely you can write your own logic over there. But if it is an out of the box form, then definitely you have to use your form extension class. Now, so for that purpose, I'm going to add a new class. So right click on the project, click on add, click on new item. So you'll be represented with all the objects available for you to utilize. So I'm going to name this as demo form. So extension. So you need to make sure that whenever you create an extension class, the suffix of the class should always end with extension. So this actually notifies the framework that this class is actually a extension class, and from the definition it will know which object, which type of object, and which object it is referring to. So in the declaration I'm going to write extension of form str, and the form is asset table. Okay, now I want to override an existing method. So to override means I want to execute another logic at the same time the up method is being executed. So to achieve that, we need to first use chain of commands. So for chain of command, what I'll do is I'll go to this methods, right click on active, sorry, I'll go to methods, right click on write. So, okay, so those two data source methods were not available for uh, overriding. So I'll go to form level method and I'll click on init and I'll copy the pre and post, even either pre or either post. So it would execute after the init is executed. So, but it won't allow any other methods to execute unless and until our logic is executed. So what I'll do is I'll click on post event handler, come here to my extension class, paste it. So now I can write my logic over here for my extension. So here I can write my custom logic and I can utilize it for my business. So here I can utilize this method to write my custom logic which I want the system to execute when the forms is in a init state. So that's it for the form extension. I hope this helps you in your journey for the D365 Finance and Operation customization. So if you like the video, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.